I'm a bit conflicted because I'm from Belgium. Whether that's a national thing, I don't know. I'm also doubly conflicted because of this image I saw this morning. What's wrong with this image? This is wrong with this image. It looks like we're a digital desert, and I'm patriotic enough to say that that's not the case. So I took the time to actually revamp this presentation because we were going to talk about our efforts on how we're going to go towards a national image sharing platform. And it looks like nothing's happening, but that's not the case. So 2 slides on this. Belgium's not that bad at eHealth. So we connected all our hospitals. They're all connected. As you can see, there's the middle one in the red lines. I don't think you can see that really. But there's 3 main hubs. So there's a hub in the north, a hub in the south, and a hub in the middle. And all those are connected with an intermediate meta hub in the center. So actually, if you go to the top left, or the west of Flanders, and you break your leg, and you live in the Ardennes in the south, then you can access just about everything. You can access your radiology. You can access your discharge letter if you had an hospital appointment. You can access your e-prescriptions. We do that. And I saw a lot of rising lines. Yes, I faked these two data sets. They were represented on a different scale, but I made them fit. We had a dip around 2000 and whatever, what it was, but now there's the line. And this is how the monthly evolution of consulted documents in one of those hubs is, the one that I have access to the data from. So that means the north of that part consults just about 1.2 million documents a month, which is a lot, I think. So that we're not a digital desert. But what we don't really do, or how they did it, is this is an image for you to look at on how our meta hub thing works. Then how did this come to be? Well, the problem is that this got started even before IHE was a force to be reckoned with. And so it's a historical perspective. This perspective was built. We built our own standards I think I talked to some people about it yesterday. It has a very nice name. It's called KMER, like KMEHR, which stands for Kind Messages in Electronic Health Records. So they're very kind. It's easy. Huh? Not that easy, but okay, whatever. So just within the radiology session, so what the hell is he talking about all the time? Why is he talking about it? Well, we solved a number of issues in Belgium. So we solved image viewing. And I talked to Charles about this week. And so you can go, as I said, in any part of the country and consult images. But this is, by the way, my brain. I have one, apparently. And I can consult it, I can view it. What I cannot do, if I were to be a radiologist or a surgeon or somebody who needs to do something, is utilize that data because I can see the view of the images. I cannot get at the DICOM data set. And that's an issue. It's an issue in our country because radiologists, want to see it in their own PAC system. And we cannot. Researchers want to use the data. They want to anonymize it. They want it sent. They want the data set. We cannot. So where I'm going to with this is we're approaching the limits of a number of the prerequisites of our current infrastructure. And that is where we hope to come in because due to, I think what my message for today is IHE has another asset in its portfolio that I didn't hear discussed. And it's that we have a methodology behind the way that we do our thing. And that methodology can be used just about in any situation. And I'm standing here telling you that I'm probably a bit an alien in the IHE world because we don't really do a lot of IHE. well, inside all our hospitals, everything is IHE. Of course, everything is IHE. So scheduled workflow, there's no hospital who doesn't work with scheduled workflow. But on the ITI side, we did it a bit differently historically. But now we come to the issue. We're at the limits of our system. And so we have this use case. And I think I was triggered also last year, and so I attended the MCWG, and I looked at the specifications of Mathieu, and I'm jealous. So I'm jealous. This is what we want to do. So this use case is the one that we miss. And in our current environment, this is a non-trivial problem. It's not easy. So what we're going to do about it? Well, we are going to try, and so there's two names on this presentation. Carleen is my other co-chair in IHE Belgium. That's what we are trying to do inside Belgium, is to utilize the methodology that IHE has developed for years now. It's even an ISO standard. I looked it up this morning. You actually have to pay for it. Huh? Just about, huh? And I think a number of the people here, they probably went with me on the VIP tour, so I'm not going to bore everybody with the same story. But the whole, look at your use case, specify what you want based on the current standards that are viable. Huh? Go there and test them. I'm looking at individual people who matter. Huh? Catherine matters, and then Charles is going to say you need to test it, and then you have to have a testing strategy, otherwise you're not going to get there. So we each have our part. I'm going, where's Jürgen? He's not here actually, but that Gemini thing is great. Eh? So it all matters. So, and then what the work was that Belgium did is we had a whole lot of people, of hospitals, of vendors, work together, and we worked out some kind of a flow chart of that potentially could be used in our system. And then I had a discussion with Derek. He's not here. Derek Ritz was somehow Derek said, yeah, once you have that kind of a scheme, you can look at parts of it, and then what you actually do is you put the profile of IHE over it. And you say, this part can be done by this part of the profile of IHE. And that's the work that we're actually in. And then I talked to Charles today, and so I had to revamp my whole presentation. And he said, yeah, but Mathieu is actually doing this downstairs. He's now doing it. And there's 10 vendors that are actually implementing just about a number of the transactions that are in this document, which, if you're looking, is actually from June 15th this year. So I couldn't have known. But we're there, almost. So what are we going to do is we're going to try to use the IHE methodology for community building, for setting the stage of what we need to do to reach consensus. And my last slide, and you'll actually fill that gap. Thank you.
Thank you, Pieter.
Questions?
Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Great presentation, thank you. Thank you, awesome. You wake me up. I have a question though, and my question is the following. How do we connect the international patient summary or the patient summary, the European, the Belgian, you call it whatever, with the imaging? Because I really would like next time I go to my doctor to be able to show my x-rays. Thank you.
Catherine, I'll hope you forgive me, but in our current climate, I cannot give you that answer, because with our current infrastructure, we need to think about how we're going to facade our Belgian infrastructure before we even go to the European, to the eHealth, My Health at EU, it's now. So this is going to have to be the discussion that we have. The question you're asking is one deeper. It's on the content level and how we're actually going to move the content through that first facade that we still have to build. I'll keep to my own job and try to solve the first radiology question. Then on Belgium side, I'll try to get that facade going. And then if I got time left, then what kind of trial I'll go and try to fix that one. But that's I have no easy answer. I think the best way of thinking about it would be to use the methodology, come to the working groups and discuss on how that use case could come to life. Because I agree, it's one that we need to do. We could do it pragmatically using some URLs. You could do it XDSI. I'm not the best person to ask at this moment because I don't have the solution.
Because you understand, you are jumping instead. You're saying, I want the radiologist to see the images
Yes.
in their own PAC system.
Yes.
But maybe there is a patient-mediated scenario there, which is through the patient.
True.
That the image goes through the, and that could be through a URL,
Yeah.
access rights,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. But
I think there is a continuum that we need to keep.
it could be mediated through the patient, although that, in my opinion, that would create the two-step process that is probably not what radiologists expect to deliver the best value. And a radiologist, well, the way that we looked at it on this slide, this thing is we want to, well, the idea of the group in Belgium is we want it to be as seamless as possible for the radiologists. Why? Because actually that's the use case we're trying to solve. For the patients, it's rather seamless. I showed you right here. I can do this on my phone. It works. There is no gap. If I want to go to my primary care provider, he has access. There's no gap. But the specialists have a gap. So that's the use case now that we're trying to solve. But thanks for the question.
Now, so my name is Pierre Michael Meyer. I'm from Germany, and I discussed this situation with Pieter Monday, Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Yes, I think so. And so it's nice, or it's good. It's good that you have electronic medical record. So in the south, in the west, in the north. But what is with the electronic health record? We discussed it, yeah? So patient-driven record, not clinician-driven record. So what are the critical success factors for you as a Belgian to get a electronic health record patient-driven? Critical success factors.
I'm not sure I really understand what you're going for, because for me it's been 7 years in production. The success factor is that it works quickly enough today, because it actually works, and what we have now works. The success factor for the new use case, is as seamless as possible and no more data duplication in Belgium. That would be the one that I'm at on this use case. On the overall EHR thing, we're reasonably okay. The adoption is very good. Every hospital has this. Every primary care physician has this. So I don't really see where we're getting at, because we're all reasonably okay on everything. We're not IHE based, and we're getting to the limits. But whatever we have now is okay, and that's it's something that we need to reckon with as Belgium, and that we look, and the older we get, or I get, I can talk to myself, is you understand if that's something that was historically built that actually works. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And it's not broken. It has some limits, but that's the way it is, and that's where now our group should come in and see, okay, how can we extend? Does that answer your question? You totally look like it doesn't.
Because the whole time you're talking about an electronic medical record and what is clinician driven. What I'm talking about is an electronic health record. What is patient driven?
He sees the same thing. It's the same view.
So do you have access to this from your smartphone? Do you have
That's my image on my smartphone as a patient. So that's why I'm saying critical success factors. Well, yeah, it just needs to work fast because we have a timeout of 15 seconds. That's so. If it's 15 seconds, if it's more than 15 seconds, I get a little annoyed.
You can see, but you cannot share.
Sorry?
You can see, but you cannot share.
No, that's the problem. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's available to the patient and to any healthcare provider that has a therapeutic relationship with the patient. And the therapeutic relationship are being managed by the patient. So whoever I go to, a healthcare practitioner, I set up a therapeutic relationship and he can go to his browser, to his system, and he sees it. Whatever screening that I do, population health screening, or all of the practitioners, my GP, my gynecologist, my cardiologist, they all see the images.
Thank you. We'll have to move to the last presentation, except it's very, very short.
Well,
We are already quite...
yeah, I can make it short. I had two questions, but then I'll stick with one. Peter, we had a rather vivid conversation yesterday evening about this, so I'm quite aware of your situation. One thing I'm curious about, what do you expect timeline-wise? You now have a steps or plans forward to create a consensus of the problem and the steps forward. And afterwards the work needs to be done. Then you need to create a system that can contribute to this. What do you expect? Is it 5 years, 10 years? What is it in your head? And how do the clinicians feel about that specific timeline, or have they no idea yet?
They definitely have an idea. So they're in the loop. They're the basis of the question. My boss, my direct boss, is the chair of one of the radiological entities in Belgium. So this is a question that's alive, and that question on timeline that you asked before is one that's alive. The problem that we have is that, well, I couldn't go into all the details. Charles, in his presentation, said, or in, I don't know, the Trimbox thing, is there's in the query you have some filtering possibilities on modality, body part. That's something we don't have. There's no metadata. So what we have is we get so it's not all blue skies. We get all the results, but it's all the results and just their title. So it's a medical imaging report. It's a discharge letter. It is what it is. And on our first mode of entry is not the images, but it's the report. So you know that there is a medical imaging report. However, you don't even know that it's a medical imaging report of an MRI, whether it's a medical imaging of a CT or something else.
It just shows...
It's a medical imaging report. But you have a timeline. So, so there is a timeline of medical imaging reports. You just don't know what it is.
Yeah, and then you need to click on it, and then you can... Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, and on your timeline question of the project, it's going to be at least 5 years before this is fully in progress. Definitely.
And then one final question.
No. Sorry, we will have to postpone it for after.
That's fine.
Sorry. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks very much.